Well, here we are hiking the Prairie Fire Trail at Wilson Lake. It's over at Manuka Park. It's one of the kids' favorite trails. It's about not quite 2.5 miles long. It's very even terrain. Wide path that's cut and well maintained. So it's really easy for the kids to run and have a good time. The trail kind of varies quite a bit. There's a lot of different structures, rock formations all over the place throughout the trail. Kind of go in and out of some open prairie area, drop down into some cedar trees, and quite a few good views of the lake. But it's also got a couple other interesting landmarks and attributes about it that we'll be passing through here in just a little bit. A lot of the rock formations out here are made of sandstone, or Dakota sandstone actually. Typically it was formed, 140 to 60 million years ago. Kansas was actually underwater at that time. So all this used to be the ocean floor. The sandstone is basically just compacted sand that is cemented together, and it erodes away very quickly, and a lot of times you end up with some interesting structures in these areas because the sandstone erodes faster than some of the other stone in the area, so you end up with large formations and things like these rocks in front of us. Well, I'm relatively new to the whole YouTube thing, but I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. But I will tell you that I'll apologize for all of the wind. That's going to be just a natural component of Kansas. I try to record a little bit when we drop down into these draws, but the reality is out here in Kansas the wind is always blowing. It's just a matter of how hard and how fast. So I don't know what this will sound like if you're going to have a lot of wind in the background, but give it a shot. One of the reasons I like this trail so much is because there's such a wide variety of plant life all along the trail, both trees and ground plants, but because of that it brings in a lot of wildlife, a lot of deer, turkey, small game. But it's just a fun trail to walk and take your time and enjoy the scenery. Like I said, it's one of my kids' favorite trails, and I think that's primarily because it's so well kept. But now what we're coming on now is an area that used to be known as Alcohol Point. I don't know if you can see that right there, but it used to be a campground years and years ago. It got its name Alcohol Point because of all the partying that went on out here, and police had to frequent it quite a bit. I think really it just became more of a hassle for them to keep up, so it ended up closing down. Well, it's been back here in this brush forever. And when this trail was created, I think the trail's only a couple years old, they incorporated this into the trail to bring you through what they're calling a ghost campground. And you can still see some of the areas where the cars pulled up to park. This area out here, this would have been the beach. Now the water is very low on the lake right now, so the water typically wasn't that far back. But up here a little further, we'll see there's what's left over of some fire rings. There's also some an old abandoned outhouse or whole toilet. But it's just kind of interesting that all this stuff is still out here, and they were able to go ahead and create a trail that passed through and kind of discussed what it was, the history behind it a little bit. Which for me, I enjoy hiking. I love coming out and going hiking, but if I can learn something or experience something, especially something out of history, I enjoy it, even something as radical as an old party ground. There's the structure of the old outhouse.
Rocks, rocks, rocks. What? Okay.
This is just an example of some of the real slight terrain changes we have on this little trail. It's just interesting. You go from prairie to a little bit of rolling hills. Out here in central Kansas, this is about as rolling as the hills get. We'll come up on another area here in a little bit, but there was a big tornado that came through here a while back, and one of the other things that they incorporated into this trail was some of the debris that ended up left out here. So, like I said, we'll come across another area here in a little bit that has a little bit better vantage point of that, and tell you what little bit I know about it. Well, this is another area that has more of the debris, and from the tornado that came through here, would have been in the 90s. There was actually one person who lost their life. From what I understand, and again, I don't know how accurate this is, but they were sheltering in kind of a cave-like area out here at the lake, and it was an F4 tornado came through, and some of this debris is what's still left out here from that tornado. And they've incorporated that into this trail with a trail marker and allowing some of this debris to sit out here. So just another point of interest on the trail. And this is everybody freaking out about ticks. We've had a bad couple years with moisture, and the drought's really kind of taken a toll on the lake. But one of the, I guess, nice things about that is it's really brought out all the cliff faces or the rock faces here at the lake. They're a lot more pronounced now. The drop-offs are a lot steeper, and to me, I just kind of enjoy the look. Said because of it, the lake is very low.